month ago, I started off a presentation of my PhD project by showing the picture here in the background to the audience. And I had 10 minutes then, but I took like a risk or a chance to involve them anyway and ask them what they felt when they looked at the picture. I won't ask you now, but what they said was, some of what they said was like tranquility, wonder, beauty. And then I asked them again, what would you be willing to pay for that feeling? And few had any answers. Some tried, some refused to give one. So then I said, in 3 years you better have some kind of answer, because Sweden has put up an objective that in 2018 the value of ecosystem services should be included in economic decision making at all scales where this is relevant. So it should be done somehow, because they also mentioned that it doesn't have to be monetary. But in guidelines of impact assessments, it's often said that as much as possible should be measured in monetary terms. And that what you cannot measure in monetary terms, it should be at least not forgotten, it shouldn't be ignored, and it should be sometimes given equal weight, it can say, from the Swedish EPA, for example, where I worked for some time. So that is so interesting to me. I think it's like, despite that these values can be very important, and they are addressed as if they should be described, yes, in guidelines, they end up in the last line where you write like, and perhaps something happens to the ecosystem services or the ecosystem. And definitely the feelings of what you have, your nature experiences end up there. Follow? Yes. Okay, and it's these values that I want to look into. The more intangible values, what you used to call cultural ecosystem services. How can we describe them somehow in decision-making material? Okay, so new research says like this on the issue. The value of the nature takes many forms. You heard Eric this morning. He practically said everything that I said. Oh shit. Okay. Yes, it takes many forms. What do you say?
You're not on the video.
Yeah, it takes many forms, as you can see. And they are not like, they are complementary. You cannot measure them by the same unit because they describe completely different things. And they are socially dependent. They are formed socially. So you need a method where you can deliberate together and surface the values that you hold and why they are, and see how they are formed. So I will do research on the west coast in Sweden, do case studies and compare monetary, non-monetary, individual valuation and group valuation to see the effects of the valuation setting on the outcome. And we will also look into facilitation, what the role of the facilitator in this setting, which seems crucial. And we will address decision makers and involve them and see what they think of the result. What effect does deliberation have on the values? And how can it be described in decision-making material in a robust way so that we can embrace as much as possible of nature's values. That's it.
That's great. We've only got time for one short question, one short answer. Anybody from the floor?
Seems like a lot of work.
Yes, it will be.
Which monetary value? Which monetary method you will be using? Oh.
Choice experiment and continued valuation, I think. Both of them. Yeah.
Second question.
Maybe it's a too broad question for so short time. It's a broad question, so maybe for later. But I would like to know a little bit more about the deliberative process. How do you approach to it?
Yeah, I started 2 months ago, so I'm just digging into it. So, but I'd love to talk about that. Right.
Great. Thank you.